Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss the first unit of BSc first semester prescribed by Karnataka University, Dharwad. So this is Peter Virji from Government Postgraduate College, Ankola. So the agenda for today's class is processor, register, types of registers, memory, types of memory, RAM, ROM, and cache memory. Let's see what is a processor. A processor is an integrated electronic circuit that performs the calculations that run a computer. So generally, we can say a CPU as a processor because the functions performed by your CPU are similar to a processor. A processor performs arithmetical, logical, input-output and other basic instructions that are passed from an operating system. So any processor will have four basic elements. The first element is the arithmetic logic unit or ALU, the floating point unit FPU, registers and the cache memories. So these are the four elements of a processor. Then functions of a processor. The first function is fetch. The CPU retrieves instructions, usually from a RAM. The next one is decode. A decoder converts the instructions into signals to the other components of the computer. Then next, execute. The non-decoded instructions are sent to each component so that the desired operation can be performed. And the last function is write back. During this write back, processor write backs results of an execution to computer's memory. So in the first case, fetch. So here basically what happens is that it will access the instructions from RAM. After getting the command or after getting the instructions, the decoder converts the instructions into machine readable form. So in the third case, it will generate the output depending upon the instructions provided to the computer. In the last case, write back. So using write back, it will take the results and it will write the results into the computer. Register. A processor register is one of a small set of data holding places that are part of the computer processor. A register may hold an instruction, a storage address, or any kind of data. Some instructions specify registers as part of the instructions. So, register is a small set of data holding places that are part of the computer processor. Generally, registers will hold a small amount of memory in the computer. So all the functions or all the operations performed by register in any computer. So here below we have one small diagram showing the different registers available in the main memory. We have MAR, PC, IR, MDR. So these are some of the registers. And here we have ALU and CU. Types of registers. Accumulator. This is the most frequently used registers used to store data taken from memory. It is in different numbers in different microprocessor. For example, we have different sets of microprocessors. Suppose if you are using 8085 microprocessor. So in this particular microprocessor, we will have different number of accumulators. Suppose if you are using 80286 or 80384. So in this microprocessors, we will have different set of accumulators. Then the next register is memory address register, memory address registers and memory data registers. So these are the registers. They are basically used to communicate CPU with the main memory. Then the next one is general purpose registers. These are numbered as R0 to Rn-1 and used to store temporary data during any ongoing operation. Its content can be accessed by assembly programming. So these are the registers. They are used in assembly level programming language. Then the next register is program counter. So program counter register is used to keep the track of execution of the program. It contains the memory address of the next instructions to be fetched. PC points to the address of the next instruction to be fetched from the main memory when the previous instruction was being successfully completed. So program counter holds the address of the next instruction to be executed. For example, in our program or in our code, we have 10 lines. Just assume that we are at the line number 8. Line number 8. So PC or program counter register, it holds the address of the next code, that is address of 9th line code. Then the next register is instruction register or IR. The instruction register holds the instruction which is just about to be executed. The instruction which is going to be executed, so that particular instruction is stored in the instruction register. So memory is generally used to store data. So the data can be programs or any other data. So data could be images, audios, videos, charts. You can say anything. The features of memory: location, capacity, unit of transfer, access method, performance, physical type, physical characteristics, and organization. So when we say memory, these are the features of memory. Then types of computer memory. So there are two types of computer memory. The first one is primary memory. It is also called as main memory. And the second type is secondary memory. Types of memory: primary memory and secondary memory. The computer cannot run without primary memory. So in order to use any computer, there should be primary memory. It is also known as the main memory. You can lose data in case power is switched off. It is also known as volatile memory. If the current goes off, the content in the memory is lost. This property is nothing but volatile memory. It is a working memory of the computer. Primary memory is faster as compared to secondary memory. Moving on to secondary memory. These are magnetic and optical memories. Secondary memory is also known as backup memory. It is non-volatile type of memory. Even if the current goes off, the content in the memory is never lost. Data is stored permanently even when the power of the computer is switched off. It helps store data in a computer. The machine can run without secondary memory. So there is no need to have secondary memory. Without secondary memory also, we can use the computer. And the slower than primary memory. That is, the speed of your secondary memory is lesser as compared to primary memory. RAM. RAM stands for Random Access Memory. It is an internal memory of the CPU, particularly used for storing data, programs, and program results. It is a read-write memory which stores data until the machine is working. And sometimes RAM is called primary memory also. As soon as the machine is switched off, data is erased. RAM is volatile. RAM is small both in terms of physical size and in terms of the amount of data it can hold. There are two types of RAM. Number one, static RAM, and number two, dynamic RAM. The word static indicates that the memory retains its contents as long as power is being supplied. However, data is lost when the power gets down due to volatile nature. SRAM chips use a matrix of 6 transistors and no capacitors. Transistors do not require power to prevent leakage. So static RAM need not be refreshed on a regular basis. So these are the features of static RAM. Long life. So your static RAM, they will last for longer period of time. Then no need to refresh. And static RAMs are faster. And they are used as cache memory. And they have large size. And they are expensive. So this is one disadvantage of using static RAM. Then again, there is one more disadvantage. That is, static RAM contains high power consumption. Unlike static RAM, dynamic RAM must be continually refreshed in order to maintain the data. So this is basically done by using the refresh circuit. That will help to rewrite the data several hundred times per second. Dynamic RAM is used by most systems as it is cheaper and it is small in size. All dynamic RAMs are made up of memory cells which are composed of one capacitor and one transistor. So below are the features of dynamic RAM. Short data lifetime. So dynamic RAMs, they have longer span. Then the next one is needs to be refreshed continually. To retain the data, we have to keep the dynamic RAM refreshed continually. Slower as compared to SRAM. They have speed as compared to SRAMs little bit smaller. Then used as RAM. Smaller in size. So hence they are smaller in size. They are most widely used. As they are less expensive, they are used in most of the memory systems. Then again, they consume less power consumption. ROM stands for read-only memory. ROM chip is used in the startup process of a computer. A ROM is a non-volatile memory. The content available in the ROM, they are never lost, even if the power goes off. ROM allows the user to read the information but cannot change them. So the content available in the ROM, only we can read it. But we cannot be able to write any new content to the ROM. ROM stores all the applications needed for the initial boot of the computer. And again, ROM has long-term memory. So following are the types of ROM: PROM, EPROM and EEPROM. Types of ROM: PROM, EPROM and EEPROM. PROM stands for Programmable Read Only Memory. EPROM stands for Erasable Programmable Read-Only Memory. EEPROM stands for Electrically Erasable Programmable Read-Only Memory. The problem with ROM is that using ROM we can only read the data, but we cannot write the data. So in order to overcome this difficulty, we have three kinds of ROM. Cache memory. Cache memory is a special kind of memory. Basically it is placed between CPU and the main memory. The basic operation of a cache memory is as follows. When the CPU needs to access memory, it first checks the cache. If the word is found in the cache, then it is read from the memory. If the word is not found in the cache, the main memory is accessed to read the word. The performance of the cache memory is frequently measured in terms of a quantity called hit ratio. When the CPU refers to memory and finds the word in cache, it is said to produce a hit. If the word is not found in the cache, it is in main memory and it counts as a miss. The ratio of the number of hits divided by the total CPU references to memory is the hit ratio. Thank you all for listening.